First things first, today's session clearly is being recorded, but based on the content we have, I believe we may need session 3. So more to come on that. Currently, the date is June 10th. And I want all of you to know that we are going to launch Gemini to agents in the second half of June. And starting sometime in July, I will do a monthly Gemini Mastermind office hours type of stuff for agents and employees, whoever wants to come, because you will realize very quickly, if you're not already, by the time we get to July, there will be stuff in Gemini that's changing. And it's changing from last week to this week. Like there's a new app for Notebook LM. So the monthly ongoing mastermind for Gemini will be open for agents and employees once we launch agents. So anybody could come, and I will give some advanced ways to leverage Gemini and maybe take some Q&A and keep it going for a long time so that you are on that journey, learning, implementing, and you're welcome to come. They'll all be recorded and on my YouTube channel. So just a heads up so you know what's coming, because things change quite quickly with Gemini or all things AI. Okay, first things first, what I wanted to cover today is about learning how to prompt AI to get better results. So to start that, I will kick off a slideshow that is coming up, not up yet. Okay, so there it is. And you should be able to see this. And somebody, acknowledge in the chat that you can actually see this, just one person. Okay. Yes, thank you to the lead trainer. That's creating FOMO for me. Please post your name. Who's lead trainer? Probably, I don't know, maybe it's Peggy. Okay, so I will explain the framework. We've taught this on masterminds. I've done podcasts on this, but if you get this, you will get better results with AI output than people that just simply type what they want out of AI. So 4P and RISE is the concept of the framework. It's very easy to remember. And therefore acronyms, real estate is filled with acronyms. Here's 2 more for you today. So 4P stands for prime, prompt, polish, and publish. More on prime in a second in the next slide, because that's probably the most important piece. And we'll go through several examples today so you get it, you internalize it. And hopefully if you pick up on the homework stuff, I'm going to kind of suggest to you after the session, you will internalize it and you will become skilled with AI, because our goal is to build the most skilled AI forward employees and agents in the real estate industry. And we're going to give you the resources, the training to make that happen. So prompt is the actual instruction you're giving AI. Write me a blog post, create an image is the actual prompt instruction to AI. And whatever comes out, you don't take it for its word, you polish it, fix errors, do all those, and then you choose to publish it. Okay, that's the 4P framework. Now let's dig into Prime, which brings you to the next slide, and that is RISE. So RISE is role, input, steps, and expectations. So let's talk about role. And we'll look at a few examples today so you'll get this. There's probably an example coming up. Role is, so let's say you're writing a listing description. What could be a role you can assign AI? You are a experienced copywriter. That's a role. If you're doing something for social media, role could be you are an experienced social media marketing specialist. That's a role. So that's concept of a role. If you're having AI coach you, you're an experienced coach with proven results in the real estate industry, whatever, that's a role. Input is you're giving it relevant information. For example, if you're writing an email to a group of people, you got to give it who's the audience, right? If you just say write an email, it's going to write it. That's going to give you Gemini mediocrity. But to get to Gemini genius, you got to nail input. You got to give it tremendous context so you then get what you need out of it. Steps. Think of this as Do you have proven examples of things that have worked? So you can upload examples. You can ask it for detailed steps. You can also ask it to interview you. Ask me one question at a time till you have a deep understanding of my request before you start writing the output. That's a great way to kind of dig into steps. And expectation is, what does the output look like? And we'll look at one example here where the 4P and RISE will come together. So expectation is the output in like conversational style? Is it bulleted form? Is it in table form? All of that goes into it. Okay, so if you don't give it output expectation, and if it generates 1,000-word summary when you wanted a 100-word summary, it's not the AI's fault. It's yours because you didn't specify it in prime. Okay, so that's 4P and RISE. That's the framework. We're going to take it deep today in all things we're going to do with Gemini. But let's look at an example of 4P and RISE at work. Let's say you're writing a listing description for a home. Okay, I know there's several people on the call that some of them deal with agents, some of them are back office, but the concept of 4P and RISE will help you no matter what you're doing with Gemini. But let's take, everybody knows listing descriptions. When somebody lists a home for sale, agent lists, there's stuff in the MLS that some look good, some look real bad, okay? So we'll look at a couple of examples today. So here's the prompt for us to write a listing description. And think about how 4P and RISE is at work here. You are an experienced copywriter with deep real estate property marketing expertise. That's the role. Now gets the input. Your expertise includes understanding of the Fair Housing Act. Those of you that have used ChatGPT early on, or as it came through the ranks, you knew it didn't know fair housing. It was violating fair housing all over the place. And that's why hallucination was the word of the year in 2023, not because it was a new word, because AI lies with confidence. Okay, so you got to give it the guardrails. Your expertise includes understanding the Fair Housing Act. Write a description. That's the prompt I'm giving it. Write a description for a home for sale. Now think about this. I don't expect it to know fair housing. I already called it out, but the description you write should meet the following criteria. Focus on the features of the home. Use descriptive, persuasive language to describe the features. Do not talk about specific types of buyer circumstances. Do not reference age, race, color, religion, sex, national. That is what fair housing, again, I'm minimizing it, but I'm calling those out because I know it's guilty of generating those. Okay. Now you give it, the description should be 2,500 characters or less. Why 2,500? Most MLSs, that's the max characters. That's the expectation in RISE, right? And then listing details, beds, baths, give it all that stuff. And now you would be at the 1 yard line ready for a tush push with this output. Okay, I had to get that in. Okay. That's how you apply 4P and RISE. Okay. And we'll look at some live examples. I just want to kind of set the stage for us as we go into what we're going to do. Okay. Now, I want you to think about this, okay? You don't trust AI, everything AI produces, okay? Why? Because, how many of you have ever gone, brotherly shove, Frank, that is correct. Okay. How many of you remember April of last year? If you go to Chrome today and type something in, you see something at the top. It is called AI overviews, okay? This is a fun incident that happened, not fun for Google. April last year, 2024, when they first launched this, AI overviews, some person wanted to learn how to make the cheese stick to the pizza. I guess they're making pizza for the second time, whatever. They typed that in. And this was a response, by the way, from AI overviews. One of the response suggested to add 1/8 cup of non-toxic glue to make the cheese stick. This got so viral that Google shut down AI overviews for a little while to fix problems like that. But it's important for you to understand where AI gets the data from, right? It is scouring the internet. And the story is that it found some person kidding with somebody else on a Reddit post. Reddit is like a blogging platform. And AI couldn't understand the sentiment, and it just surfaced it as a response, okay? You do not want glue on your pizza, clearly, or at least even if you do that, you don't want to eat it. Okay, so don't trust everything AI produces. That's why the important step of polish is critical before you choose to publish. Okay, never copy and paste. Here's someone that sent a note to their supervisor feeling sick. Thanks for letting me know. And look at the bottom. Would you like a slightly more casual or more formal version? They copied and pasted it. Never copy and paste. Always look at your output. Okay. I know it's a little funny, but wasn't funny when probably for the person that received it. Okay. So just embrace it, knowing, remember, I'm a big human in the loop. It'll get you faster to the finish line, but you can't just copy and paste, okay? Because you got to see the tone, accuracy, all of that stuff, okay? All right. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to stop the share. And before I do, I want to kind of point something out. AI technologies obviously have a lot of technology behind them. But the reason I'm bullish and optimistic that any one of you can become AI skilled is because the most popular language now is not programming language, it is natural language. If you can learn how to interact and have conversations, that is the skill, folks. And each and every one of you have that skill native. You don't need education, you don't need deep technical knowledge. You just need to learn how to prime, prompt, polish, and publish, and do the role, input, steps, and expectations. So if you're good and curious, remember, AI favors the curious, and everything you do doesn't work in AI. We'll hopefully see some examples of that today. So the most important programming language of the future is natural language. Okay, all right, let me stop the share. And now we're going to dive in to Gemini itself. So last week we did, if you recall, we talked about how a lot of how Gemini is integrated into your Google Suite, right? In the right bar, if you will. But we ended with you creating an image, right? In Gemini.com or Gemini.google.com. So today we're going to spend most of the time on Gemini.google.com and show you what else you could do to build your productivity. Okay, so let me just kind of share the screen and get to Firefox. Okay, all right, Google Gemini. All right, so let me start a new chat. So what we're going to focus on is creating content today, keeping 4P and Rise at work. So one of the things that we did not do last week, and we're going to start to get into it, is you'll start to see, if you click the drop down, everybody defaults, I'm at gemini.google.com, everybody defaults to 2.0 Flash. Now, as of this recording, on May 20th, there's 3 models there. That could change, okay? This thing is changing over time, but I want to prepare you how best to embrace change so you get the best out of Gemini for your work. So there's 3 models there. When do you use what? You may have that question. Let's answer that question. And we'll have Gemini answer that question for us, right? I have a good understanding of those 3, but let's add. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to upload a screenshot of that, which I took this morning, just so you can know that it can read screenshots well. And I want to say, based on this image, please explain at an 8th grade level, okay? That will make all of us understand 8th grade level. Which model should we use for different scenarios, okay? So I'm just going to post that in. Again, you can type, you get the idea. Okay, so that's what I did. I took a screenshot of what I just showed you. Okay, imagine these brought a link. Look at this 8th grade level help. I love it. Imagine these models are like different helpers that can do different jobs. Okay, good. Fast all-around help. This is like your everyday helper. That's why it defaults to 2.0 Flash. It's good for most things and super quick, and we'll see that today if you haven't played with it already. If you just need a quick answer, this is it, okay? Next one, I'm going to show you this. This is very important, is reasoning model. Remember the cheese on the pizza glue concept? If reasoning models existed April of 2024, it would have not surfaced that response because it was just searching the internet. At that point, it was just a chat model, which chat models still exist now, but reasoning models mean it's going to use a little bit of thinking, which we're going to go do now, a little example I'll show you. So this is a little bit more thinking model built for speed. 2.5, that's also a good one. And then if you're using like spreadsheets and doing a lot of analytical stuff, This is your super smart helper, reasoning, math, and code. So if you're doing a lot of math stuff, don't pick Flash, although simple math problems it's going to do. So pick that. There is reasoning built into Flash, basic reasoning. Okay. I'll give you an example. Okay. So if you've ever played a crossword puzzle, okay, I've seen it, I know what it does, but if you played it, I want to upload a picture of a crossword puzzle. Okay. And maybe I should show you that puzzle. Probably be easier for you to see. Sorry. I need you to see it. It's a simple crossword puzzle, but I think it's important for you to see what you got too many windows open. Here it is. This is the crossword puzzle I uploaded. Very simple, like a planet crossword puzzle, okay? But I want you to see what Gemini does. It's like 7, 8 things here, right? Okay, stop the share. Let's now look at what Gemini would do to solve the crossword puzzle, okay? Here it is. Uploaded it. Please solve this puzzle for me. And count 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 seconds. So Gemini, even at 2.0 Flash level, now if it's a very complex one, I probably would have picked something else, but I want you to understand something here. This goes by reasoning. It is actually looking through what it is, kind of looking at all the stuff you need to do with crossword puzzles, you know, horizontal, vertical stuff. Just solved it in 4 seconds. Okay. And I've tried like really complex ones and it still did it in like 5 seconds. Okay. So it is the smartest, best friend you have that won't judge you yet. Okay. So use it as a second brain, not your only brain, right? Okay. You get that. All right. So now let's start a new chat. Let's get into this. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I want to write a post, okay? Again, a content piece, like an email or a blog post. In this case, it's a blog post, okay? To save time, I don't want to type all this. I have this in a cheat sheet. So here's what I'm writing, okay? I'm writing a blog post about real estate market conditions for first-time home buyers in Lehigh Valley. I don't want it to write a blog post yet. Find and summarize 3 to 5 relevant and credible sources on this topic. Based on your findings, create a detailed outline in the blog post, you know, structures. So, you know, I'm just kind of kicking it off. Okay. So it's going to do its research and here it is. Okay. It went to GLVR, good source, key takeaways, boom, boom, boom. Just summarize the sources. Redfin, Rocket Mortgage websites, City of Bethlehem, Allentown, did all that stuff. That took literally I mean, I would just, even if I was not in the business, I would simply pay $20 a month, which is what Gemini costs just for research. Okay. It's just crazy. Detailed blog post outline. Okay. So it's giving me an outline, right? Okay. That's what I asked it for. I asked it for research, sources, credibility, you know, Lehigh Valley news. Okay. So it picked 3 good sources, gave me a blog post outline, but didn't write it yet, right? So pretty good. You know, in the interest of time, I'm just going to simply say, next, and I want to show you a feature with this, right? Write a blog post. I'm going to say, go ahead and write it now, but I'm going to click Canvas. We didn't get into this, but Canvas, I want to show you this so it's easier to show you then. So I wanted to go ahead and write it based on this outline. And Canvas opens this window here, almost like a Google Doc that you can simply edit stuff. And I'll show you what's possible today with Canvas. Similar to ChatGPT's Canvas, but you know, it's all integrated in the Google ecosystem. So here it is. So Canvas has a few features here. If you look here, suggest edits, I'm going to do one of those. Change tone, change length. So if I were to go here and say, okay, make it a little short, and boom, it's going to refresh the right window and it's going to make it short. Okay. There it is. Okay. Now let me show you something that you could do here once it's done. Okay. Suggest edits. So let's say, I don't know. Let me just try and edit for this piece. Okay. So I'm going to click this and actually click this part right here. See this? Oh, stop. I got to stop this. Sorry. I should have not done that. Okay. So now, so this is what I'm going to do. No for its rich history. When you highlight it, you can ask Gemini, make it more casual. whatever. You want to edit a line, a paragraph. The problem sometimes with AI is it generates the entire output. And if you need to change like a part of it, you got to say, change that part and regenerate. Here, you can just sort of click it more, make it more casual, and it will probably change that to something more casual. Okay. It's still working on it. And when you see this button right here, it's still working on it. All right. It said full of life history and lively. So it just sort of took off a word there. So you can kind of highlight the whole thing if you wanted and have it as Gemini. You could do all those. So Canvas is a good feature. And to get out of Canvas mode, you simply click close. Okay. So that was the first thing I wanted to show you. Okay. Let's keep moving here. Now, the next one I want to do is ties me right into what I want to do another post just to show you what this one does. And then we're going to go do something with gems, and I'm going to introduce you to what they are and how they can supercharge your workflow. What I wanted this post to do is write a blog post of the top 5 popular places to visit touring downtown Philadelphia. Create one iconic image for each place to go with each of the 5 for each place. For that's probably for each place. Okay, I think I could just say that. Okay. Total length should not exceed 100 words. Again, you can 4P and rise it, but I'm just going towards a point here. So let's see what it comes up with. And then we'll then take that to where we're going to go with gems. Okay. Here's a blog post about the top 5 places to visit. Okay. Did it a little bit. Look at that picture. Why visit? Okay. Liberty Bell, Reading Terminal Market, Museum of Art, El France Alley. Pretty good. And I could just iterate with it. Here's the other thing you could do. You could click this and hit redo, and it will just regenerate that. Or you can just do this, share and export into Docs, makes it a Google Doc, draft in Gmail, does that. That's the power of the Google ecosystem. So you can kind of go back and forth on some of that stuff, okay? So this is a really cool feature where you're creating content with images all in the same prompt. Okay, you can do those things, okay? All right, I'm gonna watch my time. All right, so next thing I wanna do is talk to you about what gems are and show you some examples of gems and how you can start to think about how you can create your own gems, okay? So gems are things you do. Think of that listing description one we did. If you write certain things, create certain things as part of your role, and you do it, I call it repetitive or time-consuming tasks. Think of things you do that AI could help you with it, okay? Hopefully you have that Post-it note. Can Gemini help me with this on your computer? So gems are very simply structured versions of Gemini that do one thing well, okay? It's very easy to build gems. I'll show you that, but I'm going to show you examples of gems, knowing what we've just done, right? Okay, explore gems. When you click on that under Gemini on the left, you will see some of these things that Google pre-made them. They're okay, but you can build your own new gem, okay? I built a few gems that I'm going to demo, show you what it takes to build one, and one of the homework assignment is to go build a gem for you, okay? So let's go with listing descriptions. Since we did one earlier, so this one is trained, and I'll show you how to build a gem when I edit it. But this one's simply trained to, and what does this gem do? Okay, let me just post that so you can kind of see. Gems today are not shareable with other people, unlike custom GPTs, but I'm sure that will change with Google. Okay, I hope they change it quickly. So every one of us has to build our own gems. I can share instructions, but it's a good exercise. Here's what this gem does. I'm an expert real estate copywriter specializing in writing MLS description that encourages readers to schedule a showing of the home. To get started, I need the following. I also encourage for you to upload pictures. So this one reads pictures. So let's put this one to test, okay? So I pulled up 2 pictures. I want to share the pictures with you so you can see what's going in. Let me open up those pictures and show you them, and then we'll run the prompt. Just 2 pictures. You can upload as many as you need. I've uploaded, I'm just going to do the desktop here, share. Okay. So I've uploaded two pictures, one for the front and one for the back. Okay. For the test. I mean, you can upload 20 pictures, whatever you have, if you want to do it. This gem takes in pictures. That's one of the points I want to make with you. Okay. Okay. So you look at these two pictures, notice a few things. Okay. Driveway, grass, black windows, stone tiles, trampoline. Okay. Keep a note of that. Now let's go here. And I'm going to go to my cheat sheet and copy that listing description. Since this is one of our listings, one of our agents have it, 23 Cardinal Lane, Sicklerville, New Jersey. That's the listing, okay? This is the current listing description, okay? And because I do this a lot in this example, let's assume I write a lot of descriptions, building a gem makes sense. So all you'll need to do is paste that in there, okay? Address this, and you can probably give it a little bit more than what I've given it, Amherst model, school district, all that. But in the interest of time, I'm just going to hit enter. And that is what it generates. This is not going off the rails because I'll show you the gem in a second. It is trained on the Fair Housing Act, and you don't need to give it all the prompts, but knowing 4P and RISE will help you build really good gems that work for you, okay? This Amherst model at 23 Colonial. So here's something I want you to notice, okay? Upon entering visitors, all that's great, fine. Somewhere in here, it's going to also reference, let me see, adjusting. Well, it would be helpful actually if I uploaded the pictures. Yeah, download, sorry. Okay, let me upload the two pictures I showed you, okay? And then rerun the prompt. Okay, now what I wanted to show you was it reads the pictures as in this home's exterior feature natural clay siding, classic black shutters. Where did it get that? I didn't tell it that. It read the pictures. So I just want you to understand it can read images, it can do those things, and it makes this gem that much more valuable. And it writes a really good listing description that you polish it and then publish it, and it's a whole lot better than that, right? I just want to show you an example. So gems are really good for a specific purpose going forward. Okay, let me show you a couple more. Okay, let me show you one I use every week. If you didn't know, I post a weekly podcast. And I used to spend 30 minutes a week preparing for the recording of the podcast. But after I create it, it takes me less than 5 minutes to prepare. And here's why. I prepped this podcast gem to simply take input. Okay, I'm coming up on 100 episodes by the end of the year. So I'm going to have Jason Pantana. My guest is Jason Pantana with Tom Ferry Group. So I just had to give it name of a guest and, who's with, company name, boom, that's it. And it's going to generate. Okay, let's get started. Find something online. Find stuff online. You can also give it some stuff, and we want to say, go find stuff online. And here's what it's come up with. It's given me an overview, how to introduce him. Give me social media links, which are needed for show notes. Check them out. Suggested topics based on Jason's expertise and my podcast mission. Okay. Interview questions, episode titles. That took me less than, literally, as I hit enter, it came back. And I spent another 3-4 minutes tweaking it, and I'm done. 5 minutes instead of 30. So the purpose of gems is for you to find things you do that are time consuming, repeatable, and I want you to learn how to build gems. Very simple. I'm going to show you now next. So that's an example of how you can build gems. Only problem with gems is I can't share it with you. I can share the instructions, but the best way you learn is you experiment. Okay, so go under Explore Gems. Let's go to the listing descriptions one. You can click a new gem to start, but I'm going to show you this and edit this and show you this here. Edit. Give it a name. It's just for you, by the way, right? It's not going anywhere else, okay? And I wish they make this a little bigger so I can show you this, but I'm going to have to kind of go through this. This is like Google. Come on, get your interface right? Help me blow this up. When asked, what does this gem do? Respond with that. Fine. To get started, also mention you need the following items to get started. Home for the beds, baths. You saw that in the encourage the user to upload pictures. You saw that. Make the desired tone require for use. Okay, fine. Then once you get the input, you will create a listing description using the following guidelines. You will generate this with the understanding of the Fair Housing Act guidelines attached. And I got this from the Fair Housing website. And I wouldn't want to read that, but it has all the details. But I'm still calling it out. Do not talk about specific stuff, jargon-free, all items in a jargon-free, no cliches, 8th grade level. For this GPT, this should be Gem. I have it in custom GPTs. For this Gem, your role, okay, there we go. You can see a little bit more. Your role is a expert real estate copywriter specialized in writing MLS descriptions that anchor 1,500 to 2,500 characters. Create the output without any headlines, just free-flowing text in the tone. Never, ever make up stuff. Again, you're going to have to play with this a little bit, okay? But that's not hard to create for a task that you do that is time-consuming, that this will reduce your time, okay? Building gems for things you do. Now, if you do something once every 3 months and it only takes you 5 minutes, not gem-worthy. But if you do something every week that takes you an hour, whatever, and you're creating things, gems are very worthy, okay? So I'm gonna hit update, and that's it. Just go create some gems, and I'd love for you, when you come back to session 3 in June, to share the gems you've built and how it's empowering you for things, okay? Let me show you one more gem, maybe 2 more, and then I'll wind down with some image stuff. Remember that on session 1, we gave you a prompt for deep research, okay? I built a research prompt creator gem. So you simply say what you want to research, okay? And I'll show you, I'll post something here, okay? Create a prompt. And you'll see, I mean, can you write this prompt with 4P and Rise? Yes, but how much time is it going to take you? Here's what I wanted. Create a prompt to research what town in Lehigh County is best for first-time homeowners and provide rankings of the top 5 cities in that county. So I want a detailed, deep research prompt. And if I click that, what kind of criteria are most important? Okay, I'm going to say, I answered a few questions. Okay, fine. Affordability. And good schools. Okay. Now look at the prompt it created. Okay. Research and identify top 5 towns, the most suitable, the ranking of the top 5 towns. This is the prompt, by the way, it is giving you. Could you have written this? I suspect a very small percentage could write such a detailed prompt. So all I would do, this report should present the finding in a clear, I would simply copy this all the way up top and take up to there. Copy that, open a new chat, select deep research, and let it run. And it will be done in 5 minutes or less. And boom, we're done. That's how you can take an understanding of gems, creating gems for repeat use, and not have to write that entire prompt that, although you know 4P and Rise, but if you know it, you can help build good gems because you're implementing that in your gem. Okay, I'll let this thing run and it'll be done before our thing is over here. Okay, next prompt I want to show you. Last one, prompt creator. This is a good one because that's if it wants to wake up here. Prompt creator. Okay, this will give you a prompt to post into Gemini to get the output. So the prompt creator, remember we did the prompt for the top 5 things to do in Philly? So I'm going to say create a prompt to write a blog post, okay, of the top 5 popular places. Remember that we did that earlier and it gave a nice little output. But look at this prompt versus what we originally posted. So this is simply a prompt creator giving you a detailed prompt. And this is the gem that uses 4P and Rise you are a vibrant and engaging travel blogger. That is a role. I would not have come up with that. Specialize, I mean, that's a very good one. Specialize in showcasing the best of America's cities. Your task is to captivate blog posts about the top 5 most. Here's the structure. Okay. Boom. And I would simply copy this whole, see, it even says copy and paste the prompt, and I'll copy from here all the way up top. and you would get a way better output than even if you wrote a good prompt and got it. Are you starting to see how gems can help you get to the finish line with a better output and spend 1/10 of the time? That's the power of gems that I want you to unlock for each of you. Okay. Somebody has something in the chat. The number of gems limited. Not that I'm aware of, Andrew Mensch, and you're on a paid plan thanks to the company. So you should create as many gems as you can. Okay. And you should be good. Okay. Last couple of things I want to do. Now I want to go into image creation and show you a few things that you could do. I know I teased images last time with the computer one, but here's create an image of a happy couple with a golden retriever dog in their front yard with their home in the background with sunset. Okay. I want to kind of show you a few examples of what all it can create and how good these images are getting. By the time we get to June, don't be shocked that these images are going to get better because these things are learning much faster and creating much ones. Okay, so let's look at this image. It still looks a little AI-ish, but they're getting there. Okay. The next one I want to do a couple here. Photo is taken from the living room of a house. The sofa is black. The color scheme of the living room is black and white. Color scheme. Some of you might be thinking, how do I build these prompts that are so good to get a good image? Have you considered a gem for an image creator prompt? Think about that. Okay. So if you just give it some basic stuff and have it ask you questions, you can unearth a really good prompt because garbage in, garbage out. Don't be too happy with the first output. Have high standards for the output. Therefore, your input's got to be good. And that's where prompt engineering skills matter. And every one of you can master it. Okay, so let's look at this one as we wind down. So the photo is taken from a living room of a house. Sofa's black. Boop, boop, boop. And you can also give it specs of the image. Vertical for stories, landscape, all that stuff. You could do that. Here's what it did, right? Look at this, right? I didn't ask for a happy couple with a dog. It just assumed that it is a continuation of this, and it just kept that there, okay? Hashtag new chat. So experimentation is good, okay? From the living room of the, okay. Okay, yeah, you got to just say create, okay. Create an image. Okay, so let's see what it does here. Okay, sometimes it doesn't know the instruction is, create an image. So you got to sometimes specifically call it create an image. So look at this image. No happy couple, no dog, because it didn't think it was a continuation of that. Okay, one more will do, new chat. Okay. Here's what I'm asking it. Okay, I'm not going to make you mouth water, but since it's lunchtime, it's okay. Create an image of, hopefully some of you are eating because this is a webinar. Only I'm on video and you're probably doing a little lunch and learn. Okay, create an image of 3 fluffy souffle or pancakes stacked together. Ooh, that looks so good. All right, so I just wanted to share that with you, that image creation is powerful. There's so many possibilities. Again, doesn't mean it applies to all of you. And I have a lot more to do with Gemini. Hence, the June 10th is going to be session 3 that I will help you unlock more because, again, mastering Gemini is a journey. You won't get it there with 1 or 2 sessions. The key is to practice between sessions. And I want to have you promise me that you will go build a gem with the 4P and RISE framework. You will get the recording. The only way you internalize AI knowledge is you practice, fail a little bit, and then perfect it, and then you will be faster than other people that don't. And I want you to promise in the chat, how many of you are committed to building a gem between now and June 10th? All right, Becky said she promises. People are raising their hand, but you're in. I like it. Build gems, and they're better than stones in this case, and they will help you boost your productivity, so that you're not spending as much time as you are spending prior to knowing about gems. They're similar to custom GPTs, but they're very simply integrated into our Google ecosystem. Yeah, Mallory. All right, so that's the information I have for today. I will see you on June 10th. And again, simple. I just want to reiterate, we will have an agent launch. We're working with training. We'll announce the date, late June. And once the agent mastermind stuff is done for Gemini, sometime in July, we'll start a monthly mastermind that will bring the changes to Gemini and new things and answer Q&A and make it almost like an office hours monthly session that is open for agents and employees, with the whole purpose is to make you the most skilled real estate professionals using Gemini in the country. That's our mission, and we're committed to it. Thank you for taking 40 minutes of your time to join session 2. I look forward to seeing you on June 10th for session 3. Great day, everybody.